built on passion, driven by Def Leppard's legacy. This is Def Leggend.
Pretty damn awesome.
All right, cool. Well, I'm trying my best.
Do you want to do the thing where you complimented me again?
I'm gonna say no to that. But no, well, we're talking to the bass player, Mr. Taylor, who happens to be his birthday yesterday, right? Today. Is there anything? Because, dude, one of the things that I admire about you is that I see you singing with certain bands. You have an amazing voice, and then you say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna play with this other band next weekend." And I go see you're playing guitar. You're an excellent guitarist. And then, hey, I have a gig with Def Leggend, and you're playing bass, and you're amazing too. So you're just one of those guys that just can't do it all. Is there anything that you've learned, or anything that you can feel that your technique has evolved, improved, or changed while playing Rick Savage?
100%. Yes.
What would that be?
Dexterity, flexibility, music, knowledge, learning the Def Leppard songs and how they're written and the music insides, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And how they're written. It helped me as a songwriter, as a singer, harmonizer, and as a guitar player too. I got more of a stretch now. I got bigger frets. I got these thick 5-string basses, so it made me a better player on every instrument. And it made me a better musician.
That's awesome. Yeah, I enjoy seeing you play Rick Savage, man. You're a badass, absolutely.
I love Rick Savage.
And I guess we have to talk to the drummer too. Yeah. He told me earlier, hey, if you're gonna ask me questions, just beware of my answers. You know what I mean? But dude, I mean, there's people like Neil Peart and John Bonham, but then there's Rick Allen. And I mean, everything that he had to overcome after the accident and everything, and the support that he got from all the guys from Def Leppard. What is the thing that you admire the most? And the thing that you, whatever it is that you do on stage to try to play like Rick Allen, what is the one thing that you either struggle the most with, admire the most, or enjoy the most playing live?
Wow. You dropped me in the grease on 3 in a row. Struggle the most remembering everything in those songs, because when I met John, we were doing like a karaoke thing, just jamming songs to a CD, and he said, "Hey man, what would you think about being in the Def Leppard tribute thing?" I said, "I think it would be cool, but I think it's harder than people think it is."
And that was the right answer.
I always thought, even AC/DC, much harder than people think. They think it's just straight ahead and there's nothing to it, just kicks their hat. There's a lot of shit. I heard Woman last night. I was just playing my drums, Women came up, and I went, I forgot how much I like this song, because I can't listen to it like that anymore, because now it's a machine to me. It's a bunch of parts, so it's not anything I enjoy anymore. It's like, okay, Women, 1, 2, 3. So that's one of the things there. I learn something every time I hear one of those songs, and a lot of times I will just skip the song because I'm afraid of what I will hear. Because I tell these guys, if you want me to quit work and then I'll spend 20 hours a day listening to these 20 Def Leppard songs, I might be able to get a little closer. But for now, I remember what I remember. It's the cool part about him, and what I respect about Rick is I actually checked it out. When you're playing kick, snare, hat, your snare is right here in the middle. So you got like a little bit of oh fuck to the floor. So when that guy's playing, if that doesn't work, where do you go? Nowhere. If mine doesn't work, I can slap something else.
Yeah.
So just for that guy to get up there in front of 80,000 people and know that the basement is it, and if something electronically doesn't touch a wire at the right time,
the show is real.
It's boom fuck.
Yeah.
And that guy's got to have some big balls and courage to keep that going every night. I haven't said anything that bad yet, but no, just what it takes to do. Everything is electric.
Yeah.
And I actually got to see Rick's kit once at the Starplex before they asked me to leave. And I was asking him what all this stuff was, and he had like 3 or 4 duplicate rigs, and then a kick drum mic and a snare drum mic. And then I asked the tech, what is this for? And he says, for when all else fails, and believe me, it does.
It
I was like, wow, and you have like 4 drum rigs ready to go. There's a guy working on triggers, like listening to rack 1 going, oh, it's weak, and fixing it right there. So there's just so much that goes into it. Anybody can get up there and play drums wide open to no click and just drive it.
Yeah.
We're held to a click, we're held to everything, each other, and we're held to electronic, to where those guys or hearing the PA probably over their ears. It's a lot to it.
Yeah.
That's about all I got to say about all that.
About all that.
And the coolest part about the whole thing, how many drummers would have done that gig? That band waited for that guy to heal and get good.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of brothers there.
Yeah.
They could have gotten any. There's so many great drummers in the world that would have taken that job. They waited for their friend. So that was pretty
And
neat.
what I love about, one of the things I love about Def Leggend is that I see a lot of that brotherhood. I was there from the beginning, with the original lineup. And I know you guys have been through some changes. The band has evolved into, the amazing band that it is now. But I've never seen anything other than, I'm in a band too. I know the internal drama that always happens. That's natural. But you guys have also overcome some challenges. And here you are. I mean, still brothers and playing all these shows. And it's something I admire. But I guess my last question regarding Def Leppard music specifically, this goes to the ones that are hardcore Def Leppard fans, best like myself. I know a lot of people that are huge fans of the early Def Leppard, and that's it. They love the On Through the Night, High and Dry, up to Parmania, and then they gave up on Def Leppard after they came up with Hysteria. I get it, I see it from the perspective, I get it, I just don't understand it. Some people follow Def Leppard through the Hysteria, even Adrenalize years, and then they give up after that. When Slang came out, they gave up. And then there's people like us who understand that music evolves, especially when grunge music came out and, all the punk music, punk rock invaded. Def Leppard evolved in a way, but they kept their style. And some of us kind of love that about them. I do. I know John does. I know Mike does. So is there anything that any of you guys have to say about Def Leppard's musical evolution? Something that you admire about that, something that you like, and maybe something that you dislike about it? Anyone? Anybody?
I thought the 90s were an interesting time for a lot of those bands. They got a lot of pressure from the record companies. They're trying to stay relevant. They're trying to still be creative, because that's, before the, by that time there's there's very little precedent for bands being popular for 30 years, right? Like the Rolling Stones in '89 were still like old guys touring, right? Because that was new for rock and roll. So I think bands throughout the 90s were still trying to be relevant, but also be creative. And then I think they just kind of went back to their roots in the last couple albums. Like, this is what we sounded like when we were at our best. Let's go back to that. Let's reestablish that. I like slang. I like X, and I like parts of every album they've ever done. I couldn't name you the entire track list of Sparkle Lounge, but I listened to it. I liked it, so I always appreciate that.
I love Slang because you can tell that Def Leppard, they probably had 1,000 discussions about where they wanted to go musically speaking, and they probably said, "Hey, this is what the masses want.
Yeah.
We are musicians, we're rock and rollers, we're businessmen, and we're entertainers. This is what they want. Let's give them that. Let's give them a Def Leppard version of what's out there right now." And they made it possible. When I listen to Slang, that's what I see. That's what I listen to.
What's funny is I don't even hear it. I don't even hear it sounding like everything else that's out there. Also, at the same time, it's like Slang doesn't sound like a Pearl Jam record.
Exactly.
Doesn't sound like Alice in Chains. Doesn't sound like anything that's out there. So it's obviously different.
Yeah.
It's obviously really stripped down, and to a degree.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's not as stripped down as it could have been.
Agreed.
And that was also a damned if you do, damned if you don't period. It's like you either put out a record or you don't. But if you come from a certain era, no matter what you put out, if it sounds like a Pearl Jam record, they're going to attack you for that. If it sounds like your classic record, they're going to attack you for that. So it's like you could do no right, or you could do no right, basically. So it's like, so just do what you're going to do, and.
No, that's the beauty of it. I mean, you can make a jazz album, but
you're either going to make records or you're not, right? So they're like, well, we're going to make records, and it's what we do, so we're going to do, so they did. Right? They didn't just quit.
We've tried to touch most of the albums. We play songs that we play for us. We get to play 2-hour sets here and there, and we pick some of those songs that we want to do because we love them. We know only certain fans are going to love them. And but we get to do it for us, you know. And after doing all the hard work and playing all the stuff everybody wants to hear, sometimes, you know, it's like, all right, we're going to throw in a couple that
We've always got a handful that
want to do, you know.
we're like, we're playing this, and I don't care if anybody likes it. You know, this is us.
And we play Ring of Fire or Paper Sun, you know, we know very few
I
people
love
know that. But
I like a mix of your set list should be 90% for 90% of the crowd, and 10% of your set should be for 10%.
Well-managed tribute band should follow that pattern.
Yeah.
It has to be. That's what I do with my band. That's exactly what I sound like. Who was that?
John Land.
I'm not sure what hole that came out of.
You're gonna cut that out, right?
No, we're gonna keep that.
This is on
We're gonna
go,
say that, like, we're gonna
It's
open
what-
fire volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going on social media, right?
Well, they think I'm doing this for free. The way I want to get paid is for you guys to add one song from X. One day.
That's
Not-
cool.
Give us something to chew.
I like one song on X.
Yeah.
Long way to go.
I like a
Name one?
few of them.
Long way to go.
You know.
That's the song.
But no, and going back to the tribute thing, I mean, that's my rule with Wild Boys. Because you guys have hardcore Def Leppard fans like myself who are huge fans, not just your friend, but huge fan of you guys. And I know, like myself, there's a handful of other people that know every single thing there is to know about Def Leppard. Every song from every album. So we obviously expect you guys to do 90% hits in a 2-hour set or a 90-minute set. But when you guys play that one song that nobody's expecting, maybe some people that's their.
Walk across.
Wait for the camera.
That was good. All right, maybe that's the one time that some people take the opportunity to go to the bathroom, go grab a beer because they don't know the song. But that's when I go nuts. That's when I lose my mind. You know, when you guys play Paper Sun.
What's
Ring of
funny is
Fire.
I'm always looking at you when we started,
Yeah.
so that we make eye contact, and all I'm thinking is, you know, you're the only one here that knows this, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you guys
Me
played
and you.
Stand Up, Kick Love and Emotion, when you guys played Love and Affection. But anyways, that being said, I know we're running out of time. We're running out of time, so I got 2 more questions. One of them is part of your name, part of your title, Def Legend. You guys have, you know, the title of the greatest, world's greatest Def Leppard tribute band. And I know that's true, not just because I see you guys live, not only because I've seen the videos, and not only because I've seen way too many, as a Def Leppard fan, I've seen way too many Def Leppard tributes, and nobody comes even close to you guys. Where did that come from, the whole world's greatest tribute?
I'm going to say a couple things real quick. One, there are a couple pretty good bands out there. We won't say it in this interview because this is about us, but
There are some really, really.
we found, you know, we obviously go look at all the competition too and see what they're about. Not, you know, there's not very many of them that we're like, damn, those guys are good, but we found a couple that are pretty good. So, honestly, well, because I'm the only original member, I'm going to answer that. These guys we've been together 10 years. Justin's been with us 2.5 years now. But the rest of these guys, it's been 10 solid years. So when I first put it together, I knew we wasn't that great. It was just honestly the goal. So I set it out there as this is what we want to get to at some point. Like I said, I knew it wasn't true. It was just where we wanted to go. But the other thing about that was I knew people would ask about it.
Yeah.
People had, I can't tell you how many times over the years, well, do you think that's a little arrogant and cocky? Yeah, I do.
But it's true.
But we believe it is true nowadays, you know, because we looked at everybody, and it's not disrespectful, but we 100% believe it's true. You know, if there's a competition, I feel 100% that we go in there and win it against any band that they come up against us. But that's just, you know, because I have a lot of confidence in these guys. You know, everybody, you know, our whole team is great, and I think we do something different than everybody else. Nobody does what we do on the stage for visual. We have a complete experience, not just getting up there, you know, half-ass dressed and playing the songs pretty good. We try and do our best to look, have the guitars, everything, the clothing they wear, similar, and then we put a visual experience on that everybody's going to walk away and say, man, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many people have said to me personally, traveling, is we've seen a lot of great tribute bands. We've never seen anybody do that.
Yeah.
And that's what we were looking for.
Yeah, and bands pretending to be an authentic tribute and cover bands, they're a dime a dozen. To me, the real gauge, to define if a tribute band is successful or not, in my personal opinion, and from a tribute artist perspective myself, if you close your eyes and you just listen to the music, you have to let the audience believe that they're listening to the real band. And if you open your eyes and cover your ears, same thing. You have to make the audience think that they're looking at the real band. You have to be that authentic. You have to look like them and you have to sound like them in order for you to call yourself a tribute. Everybody else, and I know this is kind of a weird topic, especially being in the Dallas tribute scene, which is the biggest one in the world. But every time I see the word tribute and I go see a band and it's a bunch of guys with cargo shorts and flip-flops on stage, you're not a tribute.
And they're not doing Jimmy Buffett.
And they're not doing Jimmy Buffett. That is a problem for me. But anyways, last thing I want to say is just one word. I just kind of want to go around the room with you guys, and I want you to say your favorite Def Leppard album, starting with Mr. Savage.
Good Lord, dude.
Pyromania.
On Through the Night.
Can it be a tie?
No, pick one.
Man, that is difficult.
It had to be you.
You had to-
Pyromania, On Through the
You had
Night.
to ask that, didn't you? It can't be a tie.
Do it. We're running out of time.
What about 1A, 1B?
No,
You suck.
pick one. You got 3 seconds.
Pick one, I'll pick that.
All right, I'll go with Pyromania. Yeah.
I'll go with Hysteria.
I knew it.
Right now it's high and dry, but that could change in a week.
All
And
right.
that's a brilliant. I mean,
Adrenalize is probably.
Yeah.
I know, right? You almost have to have like 4 right there or whatever. You know,
Well, mine is Hysteria, and since I'm the biggest Def Leppard fan, my vote counts more than all the rest.
That's fair enough.
So, kind of what Ken said earlier about them waiting on Rick to come back. I've always had the opinion if Adrenalize had come out in 1989 or something,
Yeah.
it would be huge. And I think there would be as many singles as Hysteria had.
yeah.
You know, there's a bunch of great songs that just didn't get the credit. You know, that's why we do 7 or 8 of them now. So,
I like it more now than I did when it came out.
Yep.
It's
Kinda
one of those-
weird, but-
for me, sometimes I go 2-3 months and I don't listen to anything but Euphoria. I just go through a phase.
I do the same.
And then I don't listen to Def Leppard at all for a month, and then just something from High and Dry comes out, and now I'm all high and dry for months. So it's just one of those things. But I don't think I have any more questions for these guys. I guess I'd like to make a statement, and that would be my appreciation for all of you as a band and individually. I think you guys are probably the most talented people that I know, hands down, not even close. And probably the coolest dudes too. I mean, you guys are great friends to me and friends among each other. That's why you guys are a family and a great band. Super talented, super into the music of Def Leppard and into putting a performance that's worth $1 million. So for that, I will always be a friend and a fan. And that's all I gotta say. So you guys are in the presence of the biggest Def Leppard tribute in the world, and I'm lucky to call them my friends. So signing out, JJ.
Whoa, man!